Okay, good afternoon to the WellCoin Talk community. Today we have a new idea we've come up with for the WellCoin Talk. It's a community fireside chat with another AMA group, and that's Coination. And here to represent Coination today is Bubble Boy. So yeah, if we could just start with when you started Coination and the core team's background and experience with crypto and in the real world, if you want to, if anyone's in the team that have full-time jobs or they're full-time in crypto now. Go into all them details.
Yeah, sure. I'd say most of us are in crypto for about 7 to 8 years. The core team is currently doing it full time. We also got some of our members, of our team members, I'd say, who are also working full time, like everyone has to do, unfortunately. We came up with the idea, I think it was last year in September. We were into crypto for a long time, saw a lot of things, and were mods in some projects or other groups, and there were a lot of things which we didn't like that much. We saw there is a lot of potential for a good community where everyone can get help, can make online friendships, I'd say, where they get introduced some interesting projects or just have a casual chat, So we started it around December 25th, I think, with the German community. Invited some of our friends. El Crypto, our owner, I'd say, was the engine of the whole project. So that's where we started. And yeah, what shall I say?
Great. Let's go into, so you started in September and up to today, what's been happening for the first 7 months, building the AMA community and the AMAs you've been having and how it's grown over that 7 months?
We started the community actually in December, so I think it's like 5 months now. The 2 months before we were just mods in other communities or investors in some tokens, I'd say. So when we started, we were some friends, I'd say, like you were, who were talking about projects, and we started reaching out to them. We were like, hey, we have a good interested community. Would you like to introduce yourself to them? Because there's a lot of bad projects out there, a lot of scam, unfortunately. So it's good if you have how shall I say, a person behind the project, someone who answers your questions, so you know who you're dealing with. If it's a serious guy, if it's someone not that trustworthy, and that's what we did, I'd say. One thing led to another, and we reached out to more projects. We got more members. Everyone was happy. We grew, and that's what we're still doing at the moment. We reached out to you guys because you're doing a great job. I have to say that. Now we're here, so that's the way we went till now.
So how many sort of AMAs do you have a week, depending on where the market's doing? Obviously, it's quieter times and busier times. And what sort of packages do you offer projects?
We didn't have that many in the last few weeks, I'd say. We try to organize one a week at the moment. But the thing is, we don't have that much projects which are interested in doing an AMA at the moment, because they are not thinking long term. So we still try to reach out to more projects and grow our awareness, I'd say, so we can make a better place for everyone, connect with other communities. So a lot of people really have a critical view on a project. So you can have a, how shall I say it, a community based decision, if I can explain it like that. I don't know if this makes any sense. I'm not that good in English, so I'm sorry for that. Yeah, do you get what I
English
mean?
is coming across fine.
Do you
Yeah,
get what I mean?
yeah, definitely, yeah. So how do you sort of host the AMAs? Do you have a few people that host the AMAs? Is it mainly in German? Do you sometimes do an English AMA, a multi-language?
Most of the AMAs we did were in German because we're German community, so we know a lot of German developers and other German communities. So we see German projects a lot. There are quite a few of them. We also did some in English. Some were translated or translated when it were necessary, because a lot of our community members also have a really good understanding of English. And for the other things, I'd say we translated. If some questions come up in the chat or someone asks something, we just translate it for them.
And yeah, how do you host the AMAs? How do you think it works best as you go along? Obviously, I've been learning for the last 9 months hosting AMAs, and we do it sort of in a interview type podcast style, back and forth with questions about the utility and questions off the white paper, that sort of thing.
To be honest, my opinion on that is I go in there like a guy who wants to invest in this project and is really critical and doesn't have a clue about it. So I go in there, I ask like everything what's interesting for the investors like me, myself. Like, where are you coming from? What's your background? What's your team? Where's your team from? What about doxing, KYC? Do you have an audit? For how long does the project go? What are the tokenomics? We have guys who are checking the contract. If there are some things which aren't really good, then we tell them. We had a project, I don't know, Pondverse, which were at our community in an AMA. Thomas is a really great guy, talked in German also. And we found some problems, I'd say. We told him about that and insisted of changing them, and he did, and the project went great. So that's one of the benefits. And the way I do it, asking what's like critical. There are a lot of people out there listening, but are a little afraid to ask because they're new to the space. You talk to people you don't know, and for some people that's hard. And so I go in there and try to be their voice, like asking everything what's important to make a good decision about the project. Because in the end, I'm not here to sell anything to anyone. I'm here to provide the best information possible for the community, because that's the whole thing the community is about.
Balancing act of it's partly marketing, it's partly promotion, it's partly educating investors, and just by doing a half an hour AMA, you can get a better understanding of whether that's a project you'd be interested in investing in. But we always say at WellCoin Talk now, we're an educational channel. Do your own research, and it's not financial advice to invest in everything that comes to have a promotion with us at WellCoin Talk. So how are you marketing and advertising and building the community over at Coination?
We are doing Twitter, Instagram. We started the Discord. We're on Telegram. We got guys out there who are just active, helping people in other communities, and this gets recognized, I'd say. So our thing is to do good things, to deliver a benefit, and then it goes natural. You go post good information on Instagram and Twitter, connect with other communities so you can have a better understanding of projects. You can share information so potential potential scams can get uncovered before they happen. We actually had one of these things where we found out that a project is a scam before they launched or were in pre-sale, and nobody was investing in them. We were talking or reaching out to other German communities. We were talking to them and saying, hey guys, this project doesn't look legit, it's really fishy, so please inform your community members. We did that. Nobody of our community invested in there, and they got rugged in the end, but just with, I think, 5,000 euro. So that's one of the things you can do for other people, where you get recognition and then your community grows automatically.
What's the size of the Telegram community you built at Coination, and are you looking to expand sort of marketing outside of AMAs into the Twitter space and in other socials?
I'd say the German community is around 1,200 people. The English-speaking part of Coination is around 350 people. And Twitter and Instagram are growing. You know, if you just have to be active on social media, if you post good content, then everyone will see it and it gets bigger and bigger. We put out the Discord, which is not that active yet, but we don't think to grow more than, let's say, Telegram, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Discord. So then you should have covered nearly everything. We're not that interested in Facebook because it's not our platform. And yeah, that's the way we're going at the moment.
Okay, great. And do you support projects after they've had an AMA with Coination? Do you sort of follow them and sometimes come back for a recap and updates on the project?
Depends on the projects. We got projects which are, the thing is, we're introducing all kind of projects. We are introducing some Degens which look legit, you know, for the people who want to play a little. We are presenting long-term projects. We are presenting projects where you don't know at the beginning how long they are going to go. And it's up to the projects. If they want us to support them the whole way, we're up to it. So we are down every time. We had Pornwest, like was doing 2 AMAs with us in over I think 2 months.
That's great. And what's the future goals and roadmap for Coination? How are you looking to expand and just grow through the rest of the year?
To be honest, we just do our best. We want to become the biggest German crypto community and kind of be a platform where everyone can show themselves, you know, just presenting good projects over a long time and sharing the information needed and providing good support for the community. So I can't really say how big we are going to grow because there are no numbers I can tell you which are like possible or not. But we try to become the biggest, I'd say.
Great. And do you offer like competitions and prizes for the community sometimes?
Yeah, we always try to organize some raffles, some whitelists, some NFT giveaways, you know. It's always up to the community. Sometimes we do a vote, what they would like to get. We also do a referral program like you guys do. That's that's how we do it.
And are you building up like partnerships with launch pads and other projects and marketing? What's happening in that area?
We don't try to partnership with launch pads or projects in general, you know, because we help them, we provide the information, but we don't want to be the one selling something, you know. We provide a platform where you get the information. So
I see.
that's the yeah.
And what's the difficulties faced along the way since you've started the Coination group, and what would you say the lessons you've learned since founding Coination?
The difficulties, I'd say there were some really harsh people, you know, who are just spreading some, how shall I say, bad vibes. That's the people you always have to look out for. Bot attacks, I'd say. Bot attacks gave me really a hard time. I think Pablo, Tom, and me were having 3 days just working to have a bot protection, because some guys had some problems with us. We don't know why. You know, you always have this kind of people. When you say, "Hey, guys, it's not good how you behave," and then you bend, and they send you. We had 3 days and nights, like I said, where we just tried to find out how we can protect ourselves, delete everything, you know, don't put too much bing bing on the community, I'd say, because if they're joining thousands of bots and you have to kick them all the time, it's annoying for everyone. So that was the hardest thing, I'd say. A lot of Telegram jail. I guess you guys know about it. A lot of, how shall I say it? A lot of people don't like what you're doing, and that were one of the main problem areas, I'd say.
Okay, yeah. There's always going to be people that hate, and a lot of competition out there, and you know, we try to cooperate with people, but yeah, some people are very unreasonable, and yeah, you get your bumps along the way, definitely. So how do you balance your time at Coination community when it's busy? You know, your real life and crypto, it can be sort of 24/7 kind of crypto. How do you sort of try to balance that yourself?
For me and El Crypto, it's like 24/7. We are standing up at 7, 9 in the morning and going to bed at 2, 3 in the morning. So we are doing it full time. The rest of our team is doing it whenever time is possible. Power League is working his day job and crypto at the same time. So he's a beast, you know, he really is a beast. Tom is studying and is doing crypto whenever he's got time. So every day, 24/7, I'd say. That's one of the things we have to take a look at in a few months, I'd say, that we get some private life back, but we don't get any at the moment.
Yeah, it's hard to juggle a day job and a full-time crypto job, definitely. So going back to the AMAs, what's the sort of packages you offer projects? Do you do like short AMAs, long AMAs? How does it work for projects?
We didn't do that at the moment. We do the AMA. We offer an AMA with a pinned post or a Twitter, whatever they want. And then we do the AMA. And the AMA takes as long as it takes to provide any information needed. So if questions come up, we are answering them till every question is answered.
Sounds a great way to do it. Definitely, yeah. Everyone's questions in, and not necessarily a sort of timescale, because we do like sort of 30-minute ones, 45 minutes, an hour and a half. You know, depending. You know, we offer different sort of packages, and you know, projects seem to like that they can choose, because some are more complex and need more time, and others, you know, are quite straightforward and just need a 30-minute, you know, AMA to speak to our investors, and yeah, it seems to work fine that way for us as well. Right, so I can open it up to the rest of the team if anyone's got a question for Bubble Boy here at Community Fireside chat we're having with Coination. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey Glenn. Yeah, I was listening in. It's nice to hear, people that are trying to kind of educate in this space, because it's not an easy fit, and it's not an easy thing to do. And what I feel is most important is to be consistent. So I like what you said with the mentality of going into an AMA and thinking, you know what, I have $20,000, I'm ready to throw this at you, but kind of convince me, like show me why I would do this, rather than coming in here and just talking about some tokenomics and some mini game or anything like that. So on that note, I wanted to ask you, like, what are some of the questions that you ask where you see you get the most pushback, where people are sort of reluctant to answer or kind of try to beat around the bush? Where do you see that problem with the people that you have over as guests?
You can't say that in general, because I think if I start writing to project, I reach out to them and I see how they react. I see what feedback comes, how their work mentality is, And when they come into the AMA, I try to ask the tricky question, So you can't say this or that question. You always have to think about the person behind, how is the person having a normal life, Do you have a KYC, is the person doxed? What's the credibility of the person? First of all, do you have someone who you can deal with if something happens, or is this just a Telegram profile which gets away and then is deleted and you sit there and your money is gone? So first of all, I try to find out a little about the guys behind the project, and whenever I see something which is like triggering me, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I feel that's a very good way. It's what works best, right? Because I always say this: if a team is asked a hard question, right, the way they react to it will say a lot more about them and their project than just asking whatever, Because if they're professional enough, they'll be able to either I don't know talk about something else or whatever, avoid the question somehow or go around it and whatnot. Then if they're not so good, maybe they'll say something stupid, and that it's like you said, maybe it will trigger something, and then you can lead down a certain spiral, and say, okay, well, if this isn't working, what else isn't working, right? And then you can start probing in a little bit more and more, and it's nice to see that some people in the space treat the AMAs as we would want them to, because when you come to talk to a community, you want those people to support you, and you want them, sure, to invest eventually, right? But in order to make them support you and engage with you, you have to earn their trust, right? So you can't be doing, because I see a lot of projects and a lot of teams that kind of look at AMAs as just a piece of marketing and just be done with it, and either have a paid communications officer, or maybe they send in a few people from the team, but you don't get to actually get to the core of the issue that they're tackling, or there's always things like this that are kind of indicative of what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go. So you can never be too safe, is what I'm trying to say. So educating people and just being consistent is not an easy fit. And I don't how do you guys go about finding these projects? Do you have somebody in the team that is kind of hunting for them, or do you have I don't know, does the community sort of bring them in and say, hey, this is something nice, or can you guys talk to them and bring them in, would like to talk to them? How does it work?
We got a lot of different ways, I'd say. Pablo, El Crypto, Tom, Power League, me, and our partners are always looking around in call channels, other communities. Some of them personally know some developers before they even start the project, because the German community is like pretty small, so everybody. We got a referral program, so some of our community members, if they find an interesting project, they can tell us about, and if it's legit, we're gonna represent it or promote it, I'd say, like introduce it. The thing is, you got a lot of communities out there who are asking the nice questions. They are trying to sell you a project because the project wants you to sell them. So we don't want to be that. We want to be the community where you go to and prove yourself. So everyone knows, yeah, these guys weren't going at our community into an AMA because they didn't want to answer our questions. On the other side, every project who comes into the AMA and shows themselves, proves themselves, will get a better credibility. So the projects who are not interested in that won't come in the first place. And that's also something good, because we don't want to introduce dead projects. So this is like a win-win situation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I completely understand. And are you guys only looking for, I don't know, sort of more utility-driven projects, or if, say, some NFT community with super hyped discords and a great community comes along, and maybe they don't have sort of a future utility for the NFTs, they just have some cool NFTs. Will you be open to sort of onboard them as well and put them in front of your investors, or what's sort of the selection process, you know?
I'd say promising and interesting projects. It doesn't matter if that are NFTs, staking projects, gaming projects. We are pretty much open to everything interesting, because that's what we are about. We want to share the information with the community. So we're not onto something special, you know, like we got Degen players, we got traders, we got hodlers, you know, we got everything, and NFT guys. So if it's something nice, there doesn't stand anything against showing it to the community.
Yeah, it's true. And if you do pay attention to the feedback that you get from the community, then you can find the best way to go about it, I feel. You know, we have people all the time coming in saying, "Hey, look, this was interesting, you know, like I followed these guys and they were also here with you, and I just came in to say that they did well and they're doing this next and all that, you know." So some teams and some communities are more promising than others, and it's like you said, with a little bit of experience, you kind of understand how to tell them apart, the more interesting ones to the ones that are sort of just trying to do more of the same, right?
That's for sure. That's what the community is all about, you know, just helping each other.
Yeah, I respect that, because and I see it all the time with a lot of different projects. They come in and they say, well, we want to do this because we want to build a community around it and do this and that. And um, what I would ask, it would be like, sure, if your plan is to build a cool community, well, why do you need a token for it? Or why do you need these NFTs for it? Why do you need this and that? If you guys are all fans of that, maybe build a strong community, get to know each other. And then if you decide that it's the course you want to take, sure, put some money together, start a pre-sale, start a whatever, and then put a token out and spread your word if you have something interesting to say, right? But a lot of people go a little bit backwards on it. So I like that you guys are keeping it 100% with everyone, just uh, being honest and trying to bring cool stuff to the table. I think that's very important.
Thanks, man. Yeah, in the end, I think we're all here to make some money. I think everyone knows that. But the thing is, I want to make money the nice way, the good way, by providing something of worth, because then everyone has a benefit. I'm one of the guys who is like, I want a win-win-win situation for everyone. And if you connect with other communities, you can make it safer projects have it easier, you know, they got more resources. That's a great thing to do, you know. I don't think that we are going to make a token any time, because El Crypto Pablo is like really against that idea, because he saw what that was doing with other communities. He doesn't want that to happen with us. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good choice, to be honest, because if you set out on a path, right, and the path is, you know what, we're gonna educate some people and we're gonna show them something cool that they can play with, they can engage with, they can invest with if they choose to, right? But to actually get the knowledgeable DeFi people that you want in your community, you know, you have to show them that you can put something interesting on the table, right? And if it's a project that has great utility, that has great value, and people like it, and maybe it has, we were talking about MMF earlier, right? Well, sure, it's the best DEX, sure, it has all these staking opportunities and everything, you know, and but at the end of the day, it's a mad meerkat as well, you know, so they keep it playful too, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so this is important for people to understand that there's no aspect of it that can be lacking. You need to kind of bring everything that the crypto space has been doing. You have to kind of put it all into your project. You know, we're past the days where people could say, oh, we have a great reflection token and we're just rewarding people with reflections. Well, that happened, you know, that's been happening for the past 2 years, unless you have something cool about it, you know, unless I don't know, if it's something like you need something more to kind of grab people's attention. And the more you educate people, the more you show them these things, the more they'll be able to make these decisions themselves, and they'll be able to tell apart, you know, the good ones from the bad ones. And I do think that your scenario with the win-win-win is possible, because everything is possible in crypto, you know, like sure, a lot of bad stuff happens, but at the same time you see this a lot as well with great teams that are building super strong protocols, and then they have huge communities that engage, and they're not your average 1 2 days play or a couple of months or whatever. They've been here for uh, a year or two, or you see where people are really trying to put some value out and to sure capture some value in return. But yeah, there is no magic pill, is what I'm trying to say. You can't just give someone a red pill, right? And all of a sudden they'll have the full history of what happened in crypto for the past 10 years, and they'll know how to spot the good from the bad and all that. It's a little bit of a learning curve, and the more people like us, you know, are around that can teach them and show them the ways and point them in the right direction, the better it will be. Because at the moment, the space, and it's not just the BSC, it's around the crypto space, a lot of people are losing money because of the bad actors that are just ruining it for them, you know. And we'll have people in, say, even 10 15 years time, when adoption will be a lot higher, that won't want to touch it because they have a bad experience with it. And that experience might have been, I don't know, somebody messaging them on Facebook for their seed phrase and they fell for it, or something stupid, right?
Mm.
And it's important to keep a high level of education and just pushing it out there, and get people more engaged, and show them the right way of doing things.
That's for sure, and that's one of the benefits you have by connecting. We got our first partnership announced, I think, yesterday with a German community. It's kind of like a marketplace for services. It's a Brave launch, and if you connect with other communities, you can make the place safer. I saw so much really terrible things, you know. I saw communities where the heads were calling a token they were investing before, and when the community bought, they were sold off by the owner of the community, you know. These are things which are literally happening every day, and that's not nice, you know. That's the friendly way to say it. And we want to extinct such things, you know. That's one of the great ways for connecting, because you can say, hey, this community is doing this and that, and then everyone knows about it. And after a while, you have
yeah.
5 to 10 communities where everyone knows each other, and I'd say 80 to 90% of the crypto space knows these 9 to 10 communities, knows they are legit, and then you can make the place really safer, and you can get benefits for the community.
Yeah, that's what we did for Whalecoin Talk, was to build it up, the community, and educate people with AMAs and try and make better sound investments, and we have done, and people have made money, and everyone's happy. Like you say earlier, there's no need for people to scam in crypto. There's legit ways of making a honest profit with investments, and the less people that are scamming for the BSC especially, to clear up the BSC space and make it more respectable, and the price will go up, and we're all fans of that. But I was wondering how you structure the team. Is everyone doing a bit of everything, or do you have someone that does the hosting, someone who does the graphic design for the flyers, someone that goes out to look at projects, and where you mainly do AMAs? Is it for the BSC, or are you branching out to Crow and AVAX and looking for projects to come and do AMAs from blockchains as well?
I'm gonna answer your second question first. We are reaching out to every interesting project. We are not bound to any chain, or let's say talk. It doesn't matter if it's an NFT or a stable coin or a staking coin, or if it's interesting, we're gonna present it, I'd say. If we go about work split, I'd say, we got one guy who is doing Twitter and Instagram, the whole posts and everything. El Crypto is overseeing everything. Tom is mainly managing the global group. I'm doing whatever is necessary to be done. I'm like going around and helping everywhere where it's needed to be. We got Power League, who is very active in our community and in other communities. He's also having a day job. He's the guy who I was saying is a machine, because he's working 2 jobs at the same time. And we got some supporters, I'd say. They are helping us. They are providing information. They are supporting. That's why they are called supporters, And we talk together, and share whatever is interesting.
I mean, it's sort of multitasking, as you grow. We started with a few hundred members, and then it just blew up over time. And as we get larger, your early sort of team members can multitask, whereas some newer members that come on board, it takes quite a while to train up, to understand how sort of AMA community groups and hosting and Twitter and admin work, and how it all sort of works. I think, like you mentioned earlier on, it's advisable to stay away from the making a token side, because then that's the reputation of your AMA community and team on the line for the sake of a project that might not last, or how do you split your time between the two? I think I would never want to go back to sort of voice chat moderating in projects, because that you've not got that pressure there of green candles and why is the price down, why is the price up. So yeah, just to stick with Coination, which you've just renamed recently. What was the decision why you needed to feel to change the name of the AMA group as well?
Because there were 1,000 crypto gems out there. You guys reached out. We reached out to you, and you reached back to us with the fireside idea, which is like really great. Like, thank you. I can't say this often enough. And then we said, okay, there are 1,000 crypto gems out there. We want to make something unique. And then we were talking and talking and talking. And after a while, we came up with Coination, because it's kind of like a funny play with coin and nation. And it resembles the idea of crypto a little, like we are one, we are connected. And that's when we were saying, like, yeah, this is like, surely there are thousands of Coinations out there. And then we were looking, and there wasn't a single one. So we were like, okay, that's the name we have to take. It's perfect.
Great. And how did the team get on? Is it like a one big family? Did you meet before you actually set up the AMA community Telegram? And yeah, what's the backstory of how you all got together?
I'd say 4 or 5 of us know each other privately, so we know each other for a long time, and the other guys we met on Telegram. So that's really funny, you know. That's the thing I said earlier about making like online friendships, you know. That's I've been talking with some of my team members for hours and hours on the telephone, you know, and it's like nice, you know. You meet peoples from everywhere around the world, and you make new friendships, you know. And that's the way I met most of the guys here on Telegram.
Yeah, it grows as one big sort of family as you grow your AMA group and the team expands. I mean, if you're growing through the year this year, are you looking to expand the team and advertise for new staff?
Yes, if we are, how shall I say, we try to cover as much as possible by ourselves. And if it's necessary because we don't get any more time, then we try to find someone who's willing to help us, you know, because in the end it's work, you know. Everyone has their day jobs, so they need to take some time for them too. But if it's necessary, we are going to grow, I'd say. And if we are talking with the community, a lot of people are always saying like, yeah, guys, you need help, we are here, we support you. For example, like I said, with the bot attack, there were so many guys reaching out to us, helping us, you know, trying to find a way. And in the end, we did it together. So it's great. Yeah.
I gotta
With
say,
Publicon.
sorry for butting in, Glenn, but I've heard something that I always recommend to everybody that goes into building something, and that is do it with people that you know. And I don't mean people that, yeah, you could know people online for the past 10 years and whatnot. Sure, you can do it with those two, but if somebody in your team, you know, is somebody that you can walk up to his house and smack him over the head if he did something silly, you know, that's the best way of going about it. I just wanted to point that out. You know, it's super important to work with people that you trust, people that you know, people that are within, you've shook their hand, right? It's super important. And on that, we were talking about partnerships and things like this. And yeah, it's super important not to go into the whole business of pumping a coin just to sell on them, and you know, all these other shadier things. But at the same time, you could have some good partners that are not necessarily tokens or projects or anything like this, but um, maybe it's something that brings value to the community, right? Maybe it's like an audit company, or maybe it's a KYC company, or maybe it's something that you can add on as an extra layer of security, say, or an extra layer of of worth that you add on top of the community. Those are sort of the partnerships that you want to be looking out for. You know, sort of like my advice to you. You know, like if it's mutually beneficial, then it can grow. And we've seen it here at WellCoin Talk too. Some of our partners, you know, we started working with them when maybe they weren't as successful or whatnot, but because they are hardworking people, you know, people that try to bring value to the space, people that try to innovate and try to educate, then that will be a win-win for everybody, not just for the team, not just for the partner, and not just for the community, but also for the projects that onboard with you, that want to come forward and talk to the community, right? So it can be super nice. Yeah.
That's for sure. Because you said like knowing the guys in person, I can tell you one of the guys I'm working with, I know him since I think kindergarten. It's like 20 years around. The other guys I know for 10 years also, even some even longer. so more or less my whole life. So it's great to have them and smack them on their back head, if they try to stumble a little. And when you said like connecting and providing some next layer things, that's one of the reasons we made our first partnership, because the other community is like kind of like a marketplace. So if you got a project and you need some services like a graphic guy or a marketing community or a bot guy or whatever, you can go there and there are trusted people by this community and you can connect with them. That's the reason why we partnered up with them, because we said, hey, that's a great idea. You can help people by starting projects, by getting services or people you need. You get information, and we provide the information for the projects.
Yeah, and you mentioned like it's graphic guys and things like this, and a lot of people that come in and listen to AMAs or kind of look around in channels in Discord and tell they don't know the kind of level of work that goes into the background. Like I know one of our founders here, Donut, was kind of upset that his sticker guy, right,
Yeah.
was silent for a while, and it's even like this small things, that are sort of inexpensive, and but you still need them to be on point, right? If I want to put out a pack of nice stickers just for the community, just something fun for an event or anything like that, well, I better have someone that I know I can rely on to deliver that, for a price,
Mm-hmm.
sure, of course,
Yeah.
but it's so I can see why you chose a sort of a marketplace to kind of bring on more services for the people that you want to work with. Yeah.
The hardest thing is to really find reliable people. If I start about stickers, man, it's a horrible story. I had guys charging me $10 a sticker for taking my logo and writing LFG on it with a text. That's the people you have to deal with, and they want you to pay them. And if you don't pay them because you're telling them, why should I pay you for this? This is like unacceptable. They are trying to harm you, and that's, yeah. Don't talk about sticker guys with me. I have a bad trauma with them.
Well, I think that everybody has a sort of uh, a bad experience at some point. It doesn't have to be a rug. It could be just somebody giving some bad information, somebody promising something and not delivering it, or just not being on time, or even the small things. Yeah, you really have to have these people that you can rely on, and the most important thing in this space is definitely the trust. So if you have people that you trust, people to work with, and then the extended community trusts you that you'll make the best decisions, then you'll have a good following. You'll be successful, and not only that, but it's like I tell people here, look, we're not saying invest in everything that we put on the table. You have to find something that you like, right? You have to engage, you have to look into it, get a little bit more educated, and if something is fishy, I'm sure you guys do this as well. If somebody comes into the main chat and says, hey, I found this in the contract, or I found this and that, and it looks a little off, or like, somebody will come forward and say, no, this is something okay, or maybe they'll say, oh my god, how did you find it, and yeah, we should look at it. So just being open, transparent, trying to help people out all the time, that's where the real value is, and that's where people will gain that trust that you need from your community to sort of stay around, listen, sure, participate in the giveaways and events. It has to be fun at the same time too. And I mean, we try to do that as well, but try to keep it as serious as possible, because some people that do come in for AMAs or do come in for pitches or whatever, they're looking for investors at the end of the day. It's like you said, they're in it to make some money and to make some people money. So they have to treat it as a business. But being a community that's not related to green charts, like Glenn said, it does have a little bit more of the you're more free to do fun stuff as well, right? If you want to do some trivia nights or whatever for the community, that can be fun too, and you can
Mhm.
engage in nice ways without having to worry that your whales will dump your chart or anything like that. Yeah.
That's for sure. And you can also, I mean, you can get some money, by investing in good projects, but you can also support interesting things. I really love to invest in games. I really love it because I in Austria, I would say ich feier es so hard. It's like I would party so hard if a game comes up which I'm really interested in playing it, and I can make some money of it. And I also know, okay, hey, I was one of the guys who was making it possible to put it out there, and that's also a great thing.
Yeah, you mentioned gaming now. We just had like an AMA a few days ago or yesterday with a team from Germany that was building this really cool game and whatnot. And we kind of see this too, some people like games, some people like tokens, some people like NFTs. You can't please them all. There's no magic project that's gonna come in and say, look, we have everything. This is it. Like if you wanna be done with crypto, you just come here, invest here, and you have everything. You have the games, you have the
Mm-hmm.
NFTs, the best utility. It's not like that. We're not at that point yet. That's why I tell people, just look around, listen, try to learn more, and you will find something that you like. You will find something that makes you money. Just have a good plan, stick to it, and then you'll be successful. That's all there is to it.
Mm-hmm. You just have to sort out the fishiest ones, because there are a lot of them. There are a ton of projects everywhere. If you look at launch lists every day, they're coming out of the floor like mushrooms, and you just have to try to sort out the worst, so you have more focus on the more potential ones, with the more potential benefit. Good, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and you know what my biggest problem is with the launch lists? My biggest problem is that they will have 30 tokens in there, and every couple of days, one of those tokens turns out to be something super good. That's why these token lists and call channels and everything work, because every once in a while, some very good people end up just being mentioned somewhere, and a lot of others find it, and then it just skyrockets, right? So I cannot bash on call channels. I cannot be mean to daily lists and all this, because at the end of the day, some of them do tremendously well, and I've seen projects with super cool utilities and strong teams that perform maybe okay, but not even, right? And then we've
Mm-hmm.
seen communities with zero utilities, or communities that don't have websites or anything
Yes.
like that, that start pumping like crazy.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate, right? How do you know? Well, there is no magic way. It's just listening here and there, getting involved here and there, and trying to find the best ones. And some people follow teams around. They know it's like, okay, this team did that project, and now they're gonna do something here, and we follow them around because we know they're good and all that. And that could be a strategy. Others just sit on Moonarch all day, right? And go into every single bullshit token and rug and whatever they can find, hoping for that 1000x. Well, you're not going to find a 1000x like that, maybe if you're super, super lucky, but it doesn't happen. We're not going to get like a safe moon here, like it's going to be in the next couple of days, something will skyrocket to a billion. It's not that feasible. People are smarter now. People are looking for something else. So when we'll see something ultra extraordinary and something that hasn't been done, everybody will know it. Like everybody will see it. It will be everywhere and all that. So It's important to just find what you like, something that you're familiar with, something that you can understand too, because some of these protocols, they come up with, I don't know, really intricate bridges or, these scaling solutions and all this. And not everybody is technical, there's no way for an average investor to actually understand the code behind it. But so they'll have to go on trust. So what they do is they tune in to their favorite influencers, their favorite communities. They try to engage as much as possible. And if the vibe is right for them, they'll invest. But that's not investing on the knowledge of, okay, it's good because 2 + 2 = 4. No, that's just 90% is sentiment, is just the way they feel about it. So it's up to the people putting it forward to them to kind of take on a little bit of that responsibility and kind of, asking the right questions. It's like you said, go into it like as if you know nothing and try to get as much as possible. And if people see value in it, yeah, it will grow. And as long as people treat it like a real world investment, whereas if I give money to a company, I'm giving it because I know they'll do something good with it and they'll grow it. If that's the reason why you're giving those people money, then that has a high chance of being successful. If you're just putting money in a chart hoping to get a 3-4x without, anything else, then that's just trading on sentiment for the full time, and you're probably not going to be as successful. But it takes a little bit of time for people to find their own strategy. So we're working on giving people tools, and it looks like you're doing the same. Like just giving them the proper tools, and the way they use them, it's up to you. I can give you a hammer, you can build a house, or you can bash someone's head in, right? So it's up to you how you use the tools.
That's for sure. That's yeah. I think it's always a pity if I see how much really potentially interesting and good projects are not making it. I don't know the reasons, if they come up with a really nice idea and I think, whoa, that's a great project, and then all of a sudden pre-sale, I don't know, 10 BNB out of 250 soft cap. And that's always a pity. And then I see some like really unnecessary projects. I'm on the friendly side now, and they are making like 10x, 20x. It's hard. I think in the end, the only thing you can do is to try to find the fishy ones and sort them out, and the rest is up to Fortuna. I don't know.
Yeah, it's at the end of the day, it is crypto. Everybody has to be careful, and we do always say invest what you're willing to lose at the end of the day, because you never know with even the best team, if they might have a price, they might just hit that price where they say fuck it, we'll just run off with the money. So you do have to take all the necessary steps and learn what it's about and engage with the communities. And I think if people are persistent and they try to learn more, I think they're going to be successful. I've seen it happen in the past. We know people come into our community all the time saying, "Oh, yeah, like I invested here and it was okay, it did okay." And then some come back and say, "Oh, that those guys promised something, but it turns out that they couldn't really deliver on time, and just because they delayed it by a few days, everybody flooded and things like this." Like the space is still very, very young. People are still learning, and there's new people coming in all the time.
Yeah, it's always necessary to tell them that they have to do their own research. This word doesn't come from nothing. If you want to invest in something, try at first, before you invest in anything, everyone who's listening, try to understand a little bit about investing. And one of the key rules is only invest in things you know about. So always do your own research. That's necessary.
Yeah, it is. It is. Do your research, get educated, engage, and don't overexpose yourself. If you have I don't know, $1,000 that you want to play with on the BSC, right? Because a friend of yours told you, hey, this is fun and it'll make us money. Don't go in and throw that 1,000 at the first thing you see. Just look around, try with $10, see how it feels. Look at, how things work. Try to follow the charts as well. Follow the community. Follow everything that goes on, and not only that, but look at similar things, because there are similar things all around. It's not every day that you get a completely original project, and it's something that's never been done before. Those are pretty rare. So if you find something you like, maybe look for something that was similar and see what they did, and maybe by doing that, you engage with those teams and you give them some good ideas too. Oftentimes in our VCs here, our guests, because we open it up to like community members and whatnot, and some people are pretty creative and they come up with some ideas and they end up winning prizes from the guests, saying like, okay, I'm going to give you this because that's something super interesting and we haven't thought about it, but we're going to do it because we can, and it's super valuable, right? So even for the teams leading the projects and the teams that are building these great things, they might not know everything. Maybe they're going to be super technical, but then they have a design flaw in their, I don't know, in their little UI app, and it's deterring people from using it because they don't like the shape of the button or some weird stuff like that. I don't know. There's so many things that you can apply to crypto to make it successful that you never know where the good ideas will come from, and where the success will be, and what it will turn out to be, right? Because maybe you get noticed by VC funds and they start sending you only the big multi-million-dollar projects because you choose to ask only the hardest questions and you go super in depth. Maybe you turn out and having people that are doing live audits on camera and all that, and nobody knows what the next, not best thing, the next good way of looking at something is, right? Everybody is just sort of going on sentiment for the most time, and um, at the moment, I feel that can be enough, with all the meme coins and everything that's happening in the space. Just having a great community is super bullish for a lot of projects. If you go in some telegrams and they're popping and everybody's chatting, and it's not the same 3 or 4 people that are sending the messages, but it's actually everybody that's engaged, well, that could be a good indicator of how what they're building is interesting for people, right? And with blockchain now, people can follow wallets, and you can see that some big whales are buying this and that and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, yeah, if you see, I don't know, a lot of interesting people buying something, maybe look into it, and because money follows money, right? And it doesn't matter who you are. I don't need to know what your address is. If I can see that a lot of people are interacting with one contract here, and then they're going on this chain and doing some staking there, but then they're bridging over and going into here because that's better. Well, that's enough for me. That's enough information, because I know that those are the best staking opportunities, or those are the best NFTs, or that's the cheapest platform, and all these things, right? So there are a million ways in which you can engage with crypto at the moment, and everybody seizing the opportunity rather sooner than later, it will be a lot better off in the long run, I feel.
I also think so. Yeah, you can't do anything alone, and that's great, because you have to interact with other people, and if you have great communities like ours, like yours, like other communities out there, um, you have people who are you always have people who are specialized in something, more focused on gaming things, more focused on reading contracts or whatever, and so you can help each other, you can ask questions. The thing with the audit on camera is also a great idea. I'll wrote it I've written it down already. Yeah, and if you get a better understanding of blockchain technology, of technical analysis of the charts, like you said, you have all the tools you need to decide for yourself if it's a good decision to invest in a project or not.
Yeah, that's true. It's bottom line is I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it gets easier by the day if you're engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I tell people. And once you have some gains, also what's important, I always tell people this: make sure you take your profits, but not only in pixels. Like when you have some
Mm-hmm.
profits, use some of them in the real world. You buy some ice cream, buy some shoes for your wife. I don't care what you use it for, but just use it as money. It's not called digital money and cryptocurrency and whatnot for nothing. It was meant to be used to exchange goods and services, right? So, make it real for you and your family and whoever, the girlfriend, the boyfriend, the whatever, take some money out and show us like, look, we just paid for dinner with crypto. How cool is that? It's not just pixels, it's real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you should always do that. That's one of the things about if you want to invest, learn how to invest, and it's always necessary to take profits. Also, when you go into a project, you go there into pre-sale and you have like 4x or something, and you're like, I want to make 10x or something. Always take your profits. It's whatever you do. It's a really important rule. Always take your profits, and like that best in the real world.
Yeah, so many rules with crypto. You got to remember so much stuff, and it's like I said, the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. If you have a plan and stick to it, you'll get good at the plan. You'll get good at that. So yeah, it's in everybody. Each and every one of us has it in their hand. If you want to engage more, you'll know more. If you just want to do some seasonal trading here and there, well, guess what? That can be successful too. You don't have to do it 24/7. If you just spend, half an hour, whatever, looking at some some of your favorite coins and track them, and you see a trend, and you catch some nice ride, and you make some profit, that could be a very good way of going about it. And there's so many good ways. But yeah, anyway, I've been waffling away here. I like talking about communities and educating people. So I'll pass it over to Glenn. I know I'm not sure how long this was supposed to go on. As a fireside here, we've been talking for a while. So I don't know if Glenn wants to add something or yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got to head off shortly. I've got some lamb in the slow cooker for tea. But it's been great speaking to Bubble Boy, and yeah, it's great you've got that partnership with the marketing um, Telegram group. But I would suggest maybe Bubble Boy as well looking into partnerships with launch pads, maybe a German launch pad. There might be quite a few out there now that are coming along, and if they've got a good launch pad, a partnership with them would bring more AMAs for you. It's been great speaking to Coination and Bubble Boy. In the main chat, we've got a link there to the English Coination Telegram, or if you're a German speaker that would like to listen to some German AMAs, you can head over to the German Coination Telegram as well. They've got, and I'm looking forward to the future for Bubble Boy, the team, and the community at Coination. It's been great speaking today. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for hosting us. It was a pleasure. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. I could bubble with you for the next few hours, but we already talked a lot. So thank you.
You're coming, Bubble Boy. I'll shortly. I'll finish the recording and I'll send a copy over. You can share in your communities.